What's up, New Hope family? Welcome back to New Hope Online. Welcome back to the lobby. So great to have you here with us this weekend. My name's David. I'm our First Impressions Coordinator, and this week with me I have Pastor Andrea, our children's pastor. Yours is easy. This is the part of the show where I normally can't remember people's names, or not names, but titles. I'm pretty good with people's names.
Okay, cool.
People's titles. So I think Michael Beers is the tech human, technically a human.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Pastor Aaron is Guy in Tioga sometimes. A lot of different names here, but yours is easy.
Yeah.
Children's pastor.
Exactly.
Also known as the job David would never be hired to do. Children's pastor. I'm tired thinking about your job, so I'm glad you have it instead of me. But it's great to have you back here on the lobby. I think this is your third time hanging out here with us.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
So congrats for that. That's a big honor.
Yes, thank
you. It's a big honor. And
I'm so honored.
As far as I know, Pastor Aaron won't be just dropping in on his own just to hijack your lobby episode like he sometimes does.
Okay.
Now that he's in the 5 Times Club. So
yeah,
that's good news for you.
Okay.
Hey, first thing I want to do, the first thing I always do is the nonsense, but the first real thing I want to do is encourage you to download our app, the New Hope Wesleyan app. You can find it on the Google Play Store or the App Store. Yeah. It's the blue one.
The blue
Pastor
one?
Andrea. It's blue, I know.
Oh, okay.
I know.
Yeah, the blue one.
We decided to make it blue the other day.
I feel like we haven't heard that enough.
No, we need to talk about it more. But there are multiple ones, so it is important to know what color it is.
Yes.
Download the blue one. Best way to stay connected with New Hope if you're not in one of our physical campuses. So, and even then, it's an important app to have.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
You can get your sermon notes on there. You can do your online giving on there. You get notifications for like when we did the Daniel reading challenge back in the fall, I think.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I liked that.
Where we're reading 3 days a week. I would have been, or three times a day, 3 days a week, every day.
Yeah.
I would have been reading once every 4 days probably without those alerts because I needed them. So yeah, things like that, right? It's huge having those. So anyway, you can get all your news and updates and everything like that. So go ahead and download that app. You can also watch the service on there too. And let us know where you're watching from. We love to hear where people are watching from. We've had all sorts of fun places. The Carlsbad Caverns, although the stream doesn't work in there because it doesn't have any service.
That's sad.
No Wi-Fi in the cave, apparently.
Oh,
which,
yeah.
I mean,
it is a cave, so.
Yeah, I feel like maybe we can help them out with that. We'll see if we can get some Wi-Fi installed specifically in the cave.
Very reasonable.
To watch the lobby. But we love hearing the interesting and unique places people are watching from. So let us know that. We've had, I want to say it was 2 weeks ago, someone sent us a picture and they were in their ice house.
Oh.
Catching some fish, watching the lobby.
Oh, that's so cool.
Getting ready for church at New Hope Online. So that was really cool. So let us know where you're watching from. We also want to have you share the link. Invite your friends and your family to come to church with you. So if you're on Facebook, just hit that share button. You can either share it directly with someone or just post it on your page and invite everyone to join you at New Hope Online. If you're watching on our Church Online platform or on YouTube, just copy the link, post it on social media, text it to a friend, to your mom, to Sharon.
Oh, Sharon.
Yeah.
Yeah,
if you know a Sharon, make sure you invite her to New Hope Online this week.
For sure. Yeah,
okay?
Sharon's very important.
Sharon wants to come to church with you. We've been talking about sharing the link the last couple months, and it's kind of like the New Hope Online version of inviting your neighbor to come to church with you.
Yeah. That's a good idea.
Instead of having to knock on the door and say it face to face, you just press the share button.
Yeah.
It's way easier, especially for our generation.
That's true.
Who doesn't like to do things face to face as much as possible. So also want to encourage you to fill out a Connect card. Now I have a bone to pick with Pastor Russ. Because for a while I was encouraging people to fill out the Connect card, and I was pointing up here somewhere because I wasn't exactly sure where it was. And he told me that it's not up there.
Oh.
And it's posted in the chat. Now it is posted in the chat, so please fill out a Connect card. However, if you are on the Church Online platform, there's a button right up near Pastor Andrea's head here that says Connect, which is the general area I used to point.
Okay, somewhere over here.
So you click that Connect button, and that's how you'll find your Connect card. So Pastor Russ, I don't have anything else, but I was right. It is up here somewhere. And if you're on Facebook, you can find that in the chat as well, or go to our website, newhopehere.com, and again, click the Connect button and fill out that Connect card. But there's spots on that for prayer requests and praises, which every week as a staff we get together and we pray over those.
Yeah.
There's, if you're interested in joining a group or finding a volunteer opportunity, things like that, you can indicate it on that card and someone will reach out to you. So really want to encourage you to fill out a Connect card as well. Another thing we talk about a lot in the lobby, Pastor Andrea, engaging with the service. Now we're going to talk New Hope Kids Online here in a minute because you're sort of an expert.
Just a little bit,
Yeah, just a little bit of an expert. But the engaging with the service, now you're normally at our Williston campus on Sundays.
That's correct.
So you don't have to engage with online services anymore. But for a while you did.
Yeah.
When we were all online. Did you have any tips and tricks for people how to engage rather than just kind of, you know, you're about to like watch a football game or, well, actually not anymore, you're not. College basketball game is the correct answer. Or a TV show or whatever. You're on the same couch where you binge Netflix.
Yeah.
And sometimes it can be hard to engage rather than just consume.
Yeah.
Do you have any tips and tricks? What worked for you or didn't work for you?
Well, one thing that did work for me was I'm the kind of person that gets a little bit uncomfortable when I feel like somebody can hear me like through my apartment walls when I'm singing. And so I really liked to turn it up, the worship really loud, so they would hear the like music from it rather than me singing.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
So I really like that. And actually, I preferred to stand up from my couch when worship was
During
happening.
the worship.
Yeah, that doesn't work for everybody, but that really helped me like get into
Did you feel weird standing in your apartment and singing or no?
You know, I didn't. I actually thought it was a little bit more fun. I could get up there and be like dancing around a little bit.
See, I felt very weird at first. And I had to get over the fact that I felt weird. But I certainly found that if I was just sitting, like I was not engaging and focusing on worshiping the Lord, I was just kind of like, hey, they're good job, worship team. Like, you guys are doing great. As opposed to the purpose of that, which is, you know, corporate worship of the Lord together. And so standing was important for me as well. And I am also like you, or I don't want other humans to hear me singing. The good news is other humans don't want to hear me sing either. So we get along because of that. So yes, turn that volume all the way up. I always say if you're watching with a watch party or with your family or just one other person or whatever, and you're like me and you don't want people to hear, just test your speakers out. Let's see how loud they can go.
Exactly.
And Michael or Pastor Kylie or Pastor Jordan, they sound a lot better than you, probably. If they don't, you should join the worship team.
Yes. Fill out the connect card.
Yeah, exactly. They certainly sound better than me. Turn that thing all the way up. I also, I would make sure to close my curtains, because for a while, we weren't watching in our basement TV, we were watching on the main floor one.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is a weird look, just like standing and worshiping in my living room. But then I was like, you know what? Maybe that'll start a conversation with that neighbor who comes to check on me and see if I'm doing okay during the pandemic. As I'm just standing up and jumping in my living room on a Sunday
I'm a children's passter, so when I look ridiculous, I just don't.
That means you're doing your job well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's... all right, I want to talk about it again a little bit later, but let's talk New Hope Kids Online.
Yeah.
Now, we always talk about New Hope Kids Online. I always talk about what an amazing job you and your team do getting that ready. I think it's incredible. We use it for Leighton. It's hit and miss sometimes with him because he's 3.5. So everything is hit and miss with him. But he really loves it. Sometimes, like when he's on, he'll watch it like 3 times through. He just loves it. But today's message, you don't want your young child viewing it with you. So really want to encourage you to check out New Hope Kids Online, because it's a service specifically designed for them. The service today at New Hope Online is specifically designed for you, not for your children. So if you have some young children, really want to maybe get that extra device and a pair of headphones and encourage them to, I think Pastor Travis labels it a PG-13 message.
Yes.
For the start of our new series. You, me, we, he. Who, I'm going to get that wrong a lot during
Well,
this.
you got it right this time.
I did. But anyway, so New Hope Kids Online. Let us know a little bit, like, what is New Hope Kids Online? How does it work?
So New Hope Kids Online is basically a way for your kids at home or wherever you are during the week to have an opportunity to engage with the kids curriculum that we have every week. And so a lot of times I'll go up with some other family ministries person and we'll do like a fun game or something beforehand, and then we'll go through like worship songs and their Bible story, and for preschoolers like the Ollie video and the memory verse, just things like that. So it really gives them a chance to engage. And so the idea is that you guys can all worship together as a family, right? So you'll go through the worship and the singing together. And then once the message starts, you grab another device for your kids, some headphones, put on New Hope Kids Online, and then they can go through their own age-appropriate curriculum that they have.
Yeah.
And so we have some for preschool, some for kinder through third, and then fourth and fifth, that pre-teenage. And it's just a good way for all of the different kids to engage in curriculum.
Yeah, it's great that it's kind of broken up with age groups too, because a fourth and fifth grader probably, just like if you were at one of our, if you're in Tioga or you're in Williston, your fifth graders aren't going through the same thing as your 3-year-olds.
Right.
That day, it's going to be hard to keep their attention and keep their interest. So, again, New Hope Kids Online, you can find it on our Family Ministries page on Facebook or at newhopehere.com. And again, really want to encourage you to do that today, especially, but always New Hope Kids Online. In fact, if you have used or are regularly using New Hope Kids Online, let us know in the chat right now.
Yeah.
Let us know how great it's been for you. If you haven't used it yet, but you do watch with your kids, I want to encourage and challenge you to have today be the day that you try it out. We've got 3 or 4 minutes before the service gets started. So grab that extra device, grab a pair of headphones, go get that, all queued up to start. It's not running like live like this is. It's just ready for you to click play. So so it's just ready for you to go. So like Pastor Andrew said, enjoy some time worshiping the Lord together, and then get your kids set up with New Hope Kids Online. Really want to challenge you to make today the day that you give that a try.
Yeah.
I do want to mention something from last week. We had the 90-day challenge last week from Pastor Mike.
Yeah.
And we kind of wrapped up our series, How to Wreck Your Life, which was a really cool series.
Yeah.
You were involved in teaching in one of those series.
That was
a very
a lot
good
of
job.
fun.
That was very cool. I liked that week when kind of some of the younger like pastor level staff that aren't normally part of the teaching team were involved. I thought that was really cool. You guys did a really good job.
Yeah.
But we closed it with the 90-day challenge, which included a challenge to spend time with God, spend time with God's people, both in large and small groups, and then to give God his tithe first.
Yep.
And you can find that at our website, newhopehere.com/90 days. That's 90 days, the numbers, 90 days. And if you haven't signed up for that yet, first of all, if you missed the message last week, really want to encourage you to go watch that. So you can
it was really good.
Just find it on Facebook, or you can find it on our website as well. Really want to encourage you to find that message and watch it. But the challenge at the end, the 90-day challenge, if that's something that you're still considering, or you were praying over it, or like we said, you haven't watched it yet, something I want to encourage you to check out and still consider signing up to be a part of the 90-day challenge. Commit to doing those 3 basics for 90 days and seeing how it'll change your life. And I think that'll be great. So I wanted to mention that before we got started today as well, if that's not something you've checked out. A couple other things, and then we're gonna get into worshiping together. But just a quick recap. I really want you to download the app, the New Hope Wesleyan app. What color is it, Pastor Andrea?
It's blue.
It is blue.
Yeah.
It is not magenta.
Yeah, not the magenta one.
A lot of confusion with the magenta.
Common misconception.
It's the blue one. You can get your sermon notes on there. You can do your online giving on there. You can connect with someone on staff for prayer during the message. All sorts of different stuff. Fill out your Connect card on there. All sorts of good things. Speaking of the Connect card, right here, Pastor Russ and everyone else on the Church Online platform up here somewhere, just click Connect. If you're on Facebook or anything else, go down and check in the chat. And I think it's on the chat in Church Online platform as well, but it's definitely up here, and I'm pretty excited about it. If you can't tell, just right there it says Connect. But if you're interested in joining a group, getting connected with a way to serve, things like that, indicate that on that Connect card, or if you're looking for prayer as well. Share the link. We got about a minute until the service gets started, a minute and a half. Invite someone to come to church with you today. So if you're on Facebook, hit the share button, share it with your friends, or send it directly to someone who you think might want to join you. If you're on Church Online or on YouTube, just copy the link, text it to somebody, post it on social media, anything like that. Last week, I had Pastor Aaron give an example of what it sounds like when he invites someone to church with him. And it wasn't great. So I think for him, this was especially much better. Just post it on Facebook. I would like to hear yours. Knock on your neighbor's door, invite him to church with you. Let's hear it.
I'm probably the direct approach. So just, hey, how you doing? Do you want to come to church with me this Sunday?
That was so much better than Pastor Aaron's.
Oh, that's good.
So much better. So either do that or share the link on your social media. Find a way to engage with the service. If taking notes helps you, then get some paper or download the app and get the notes and take some notes. We both talked about standing up during worship, turning the volume way up so no one else but the Lord can hear you sing. That's who we're singing for anyway, right? And then lastly, New Hope Kids Online, which Pastor Andrea is heavily involved with. There's a fun game for your kids, and then great curriculum. It's broken up for different age groups too. And as Pastor Travis will mention, he referred to today's message as PG-13. So this would be a great time, if you haven't tried New Hope Kids Online, to get an extra device, pair of headphones once the worship is done. Get them watching the New Hope Kids Online service, and you can focus on the service that's designed for you. So check out New Hope Kids Online on our Family Ministries page on Facebook or on our website, newhopehere.com. And I think I've rattled off all of the million things that I wanted to talk about. Thank you again so much for joining us here at New Hope Online this week. Let's go and worship together.
Hey everyone, welcome to New Hope Online. Please join us in worship. When night is falling, when fear is coming, still you're calling me. When faith is lost and my hope exhausted, you will be my strength. When my mind says I'm not good enough, God, you're enough for me. Yeah, I've decided I'm not giving up, 'cause you won't give up on me. You won't give up on me. Your love is holding on and it won't let go. I feel it breaking out just like an echo. Your love is
found me, you freed me, held back the water from my release. Oh Yahweh, let's sing this out. You're the God who fights for me, Lord of every victory. Hallelujah, hallelujah. You have torn apart the sea, you have led me through the deep. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Sing this out. A cloud by day is a sign that you are with me. Fire by night is the guiding light to my feet. You found me, you freed me, held back the waters for my release. Oh Yahweh, you're the God. You're the God who fights for me, Lord of every victory. Hallelujah, hallelujah. You have torn apart the sea, you have led me through the deep. Hallelujah, hallelujah. You're the God who fights for me, Lord of every victory. Hallelujah, hallelujah. You have torn apart the sea, you have led me through the deep. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Come on, let's get excited. Let's declare this together. 'Cause you stepped into my Egypt, you took me by the hand, you marched me out in freedom into the promised land. Now I will not forget you, God. I'll sing of all you've done. Death is swallowed up forever by the fury of your love. 'Cause you stepped into my Egypt, you took me by the hand, you marched me out in freedom into the promised land. Now I will not forget you, God. I'll sing of all you've done. Death is swallowed up forever by the fury of your love. You're the God who fights for me, Lord of every victory. Hallelujah, hallelujah. You have torn apart the seas, you have led me through the deep. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Just the voices, every voice. You're the God who fights for me, Lord of every victory. Hallelujah, hallelujah. You have torn apart the seas, you have led me through the deep. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Let's sing this out. 'Cause you stepped into my Egypt, and you took me by the hand, you marched me out in freedom, straight into the promised land. Now
as we continue in this mode of worship, please prepare your hearts for a time of prayer.
Let's sing this out. Can't go back to the beginning. Can't control what tomorrow will bring. But I know here in the middle is a place where you promised to be. Let's lift our voices. I'm not enough unless you come. Will you meet me here again? 'Cause all I want is all you are. Will you meet me here again? Will you meet us here, oh God? Sing this out. As I walk now through the valley, let your love rise above every fear. Like the sun shaping the shadows, in my weakness your glory appears. I'm not enough unless you come. Will you meet me here again? 'Cause all I want is all you are. Will you meet me here again? I'm not enough
together. Dear God, I pray that your name would be present in this place. That your name would be everything that we look for, everything that we seek, everything that we desire. That your will would be done in our lives. And that our minds would be illuminated to the amazing fact that you are present, that you are near, and that you are close to each and every one of us, God. May we never grow weary of the reminder that you are good, that you save, and that your forgiveness washes away all iniquities that we may have, God. I pray that we would be reminded that your love is enough for us, that you have equipped each and every one of us to go into our world and share your word with the people around us, God. And we have that promise that your name will be known by every mouth and declared on every lip, God. So I pray that you would help us remember that we are a part of what you're doing and what you continue to do on earth. And that there are so many who still need to hear your name, feel your spirit, and speak your voice. So God, I pray that you would equip us all, that you would prepare us to learn in the message, and that we would be able to find your wisdom in the words that Pastor Travis speaks. God, we're so thankful for you, and we pray all of this in the almighty name of your Son, Jesus. Amen.
Hey, New Hope, I'm Brendan,
Oh, me. I'm Pastor Mike.
and we're here to give you the weekly highlights for the week. First things first, we have our Connect card, which I believe we found
think it's down here.
Down there.
But our online host will put a link in the chat right now.
Right, and that's a great way for you to connect with us here at New Hope. If you fill one out, you can give prayer requests, prayers reports, and it's just a really, really great way for us here at New Hope to connect with you.
Parents, baptism is coming up. Now, for adults, if you've taken that gateway class, part of discipleship journey, that's preparing you for baptism. But for children who would like to be baptized, we have a class coming up this Wednesday night, February 17th. There's information online, or if you have the app, it's called Baptism Bash. So if they're interested in baptism, maybe not even coming up in March, but maybe sometime in the future, you'll want to check it out. It's that great next step in the faith after you've asked Jesus to be the forgiver of your sins and leader of your life.
Right. Another thing we do at New Hope here is we participate in offering. We always say that we give through New Hope. We don't give to New Hope, because New Hope gives a portion of the offering away to our region, our community, and worldwide. So just a lot of really cool, exciting ways for that. There are a few ways you can do that. We have through our app, which is the blue one.
Blue one?
We have through our website, as well as we have text to give, which I believe the number is 84321.
I believe so.
So
Again, there'll be links to that in the chat right now.
Yep.
And if you said yes to the 90-day challenge last week, this is your opportunity to step up and return. Remember, it's return God's tithe first. Right now, we're going to dive into a brand new series and a great teaching. Get ready.
What's up, New Hope? Travis here, and I just want to give a shout out to those in Tioga, shout out to those who are watching online. I just want to mention also those in Jamestown. Thanks for joining us today. Also want to say Happy Valentine's Day. I want to say Happy Galentine's Day. Maybe it's Happy Singles Awareness Day. And today I get the opportunity to launch into this new series. We've titled it You, Me, We, and He, and it's going to be awesome. But before we jump in, I need to lay some groundwork. First, I need to add a disclaimer. Today's message is going to be PG-13. So Mom and Dad, if you want to pause, grab a device for the kids, find New Hope Kids online for the little ones, that probably would be great. But we're going to begin in Song of Songs, chapter 1, verse 1. I'm not poetic. You may not be poetic, but I want to challenge you to get past the poetry and see the principles that are in this book, because it's an incredible book of the Bible. Here we go, chapter 1, verse 1. Solomon's Song of Songs. We know about Solomon that he was the wisest man who ever lived. And we also know that he had 700 wives, which qualifies him as the dumbest man to ever live. And though it might be difficult for us to ascertain to why we would want to read a book about love and faithfulness in marriage for a man who had over 700 wives, most scholars believe that this was written to his first wife before his heart turned away from God. By the way, the Bible is inspired. The authors who wrote the Bible are not necessarily inspired in the way they live their lives, but the things that they wrote are inspired. This book is great, written by Solomon. A lot of scholars over the years have had trouble with this book because it is so explicit. They can't really explain why God would include a book like this in the Holy Bible, and so they try to find all kinds of ways around interpreting this book as an allegory. In other words, they will say, yes, this book describes the love relationship between Solomon and this young lady who was his first wife, but it's also an allegory for Christ in the church. In fact, when the book mentions the young lady's breasts in chapter 7, there are some commentators out there who say that her breasts represent the Old and the New Testaments. That's why there are two breasts. I kid you not. There's a real tendency in church to dance around it, but what if God is really so concerned about what concerns you? What if God is so smart about how we are wired that he includes a whole book in the Bible to practically help us with our feelings and emotions and desires for love? Verse 2. This young woman is going to speak, and we're going to see her feelings towards him and his feelings towards her and the feelings of the friends who are related to these two. It is very interesting. Here we are going to start right out of the gate. Let him kiss me with the kisses of his mouth. For your love is more delightful than wine. Pleasing is the fragrance of your perfumes. Your name is like perfume poured out. No wonder the maidens love you. Take me away with you. Let us hurry. Let the king bring me into his chambers. Steamy stuff. This woman wastes no time. Let him kiss me with the kisses of his mouth. Tell us how you really feel. And this book is going to go back and forth kind of in a time warp. We're observing this couple right now on their wedding night. And then we'll flash back and see their dating days. It's going to be like kind of watching an episode of WandaVision play out. As we read through their encounters together, we're going to have flashbacks and see how the way things were. Today, I want to talk about what attracted these two to each other. And I want to speak to you about, if you're single, what should attract you to a guy or to a young lady. A guy, how to be attractive to a single girl. Take notes, dudes. I'm telling you, I'm going to hook you up today. I'm going to tell you how to win a woman's heart. If you're married, what in the world makes you think that now that you've won her, you need to stop winning her? You need to stay attractive and attracted to your woman or to your husband. And so I'm going to talk about that today also. Back to our scripture. Let him kiss me with the kisses of his mouth, for your love is more delightful than wine. Alcohol and sex in the first two verses. That's enough to run some people out of the church right there. But this is a serious book. What this woman is saying is, I'm attracted to you. I want you. I smell you. Verse 3, pleasing is the fragrance of your perfume. You smell good. Core value number one in getting a good woman, smell good, brother. Doesn't take much. Core value in getting a date is to smell good. This man, he was very attractive physically to this woman. But notice, that's not the primary thing that attracted her to him and made her want him. For she says, you smell like perfume poured out, but your name is like perfume poured out. Your name represents your character and your integrity and your walk with God. And if you want to be a truly attractive man, have a walk with God. And a name that is like purified oil. And ladies, if you want to find a man who's really a man who is worth giving your life to and pledging yourself to, find a man with a good name. Find a man whose attraction goes past his six-pack, because one day the six-pack will evolve into a keg, and all you'll have left is his name and his character. Now, physical attraction is important. Sometimes you'll hear these preachers say it doesn't matter what he looks like. Yeah, it does. You need to be attracted to him. Typically, that's the first thing that will attract you to someone. First time I saw Autumn, and I'm probably going to tell more stories than you want to hear about Autumn and myself today. But the first time I saw Autumn, I wasn't thinking a better name is like purified oil. A better character sees that of the Pharisees. I didn't think anything like that. I thought, who is that on that volleyball court? I've got to meet her. Look at how she dances and celebrates after she gets a block. It was the first thing that attracted me to her. And for a period, that was the only thing that attracted me to her, because it was the only thing that I knew about her. Although your physical attraction may be the first sensation in drawing you to someone, it should not be the top priority. I love what this woman says. No wonder the young women love you. In other words, what she's saying is, I'm lucky to have you. Ladies, can I speak to you just for one moment? Can I let you in on a secret? Don't you settle just because you are single. You hold out until God brings you somebody that you'll be lucky to have. No wonder the maidens love you. No wonder they all want you. But they don't have you. I've got you. You're my catch. You're my man. I held out and I waited on the right one, and now I've got you, and everybody else can just hate me for it. No wonder the maidens love you. I don't know if Autumn feels this way about me or not, but I hope she does. I hope she feels like, a lot of women would be lucky to have you, but I have you. I know I certainly feel that way about her. And guys, as I said earlier today, I'm going to hook you up. See, I don't always get this right. So I'm preaching to myself today also. But treat your girlfriend, treat your fiance, treat your wife in a way that'll make the other women jealous that she got a stud like you. And when you don't have all the physical good looks, you've got to do what you can with what you have. So sometimes you got to find a way to get past the physical attraction and appeal to something deeper. I believe all the true marriages that last are built on something more solid than she has nice legs or look at his biceps. By the way, I believe the modern media is marketing a mindset to our young ladies. If you'll notice, for the past several years, over the past decades, there has been a shift. Now, it's nothing new for sexy women to sell stuff on TV, but up until about the early 2000s, there was nothing sexy about a man in his underwear on TV. That was nauseating to women. But now with this new group of teenage girls coming up, I'm noticing on TV shows, commercials, movies, they're marketing a mindset to this generation of young ladies to make you think that that guy has to look like that guy in order for him to be worthy of your attention. I'm going to tell some of you young ladies the best thing you can do. Marry a dork. Marry a guy who's not so concerned about his appearance. He's more concerned with you. I know it's good to be attracted to him. Yeah, you ought to look good a little bit, but there has to be something much deeper than that. How about his name. This young lady says, Solomon, your name is like perfume poured out. It's a fragrance. In other words, you know when you can just smell someone when they walk into the room? I don't know if you know someone, they have a certain smell. I know my wife's smell. And this young lady says, your smell is a smell of a good name. Your smell is the scent of a good reputation. You are known for your walk with God. You are known for your intimacy with Him. You are known for your relationship with the Creator. Yeah, that attracts me to you. Yeah, you look good. Yeah, you're a good kisser, but it's your name I'm really into. If you want to find love that lasts, find somebody with a good name. Find somebody with a solid reputation. Find a girl who treats the other girls who are a little bit overweight and sit by themselves in the cafeteria with dignity and respect. Find a girl with a kind heart, and when you find one with a good name, hold on to them. Even if they don't have the perfect body, even if they don't wear mother jeans, hold on to them because it's the name that counts. And everything else fades away, the name will remain. Find someone with a good name. Now this woman is about to reveal some insecurities about herself, and we'll pick this up in verse 5. Dark am I, yet lovely. O daughters of Jerusalem, dark like the tents of Kedar, like the tent curtains of Solomon. Now this is a little bit confusing to us culturally. In our days, it's a status symbol and a sign of beauty to have a good tan. So some of you guys, as I was reading that, you're going, I don't see nothing wrong with that. I like my women a little tan. But this woman, she actually sees her dark skin, her dark complexion as a compromise. She sees it as an indicator of a life as a working woman, and it wasn't considered beautiful. See, the people back then, they were a lot smarter than us. We pay to get skin cancer and call that beautiful. Have you ever seen these paintings from 100 to 200 years ago, and they're maybe a little chubby, a little pasty, and you go, that's beautiful? Yeah, that was beautiful because you had light skin. That was an indication that you didn't have to work in the sun. And you were able to take care of yourself. And you were from the upper echelon of society. You were elite. This woman said, I am dark because I had to work. And obviously this woman's family didn't have a man in the house. Obviously the father of the family had died, so she's out working in the fields and she's insecure about how she looks. Can I tell you something about the beautiful women that you see, that you're going to meet and maybe have the opportunity to date? Deep down, beneath all that beauty and all that makeup and all that stuff that matches and all the things she wears, know how beautiful she is, there's an insecurity. This book is so confusing in so many ways, but this is one point that it relates to all of us. And I believe it especially relates to a lot of you women because there are insecurities you carry with yourself. In this case, it was a physical appearance thing. But we're going to watch Solomon love this woman through her insecurities. Love her through her inadequacies. Love her through her dysfunctions. She says, my brothers were angry with me. And we'll pick it up and read it from verse 6. Do not stare at me because I am darkened by the sun. My mother's sons were angry with me and made me take care of the vineyards. My own vineyard I had to neglect. She is saying I was so busy working to earn a living because I was a working class girl. I'm nothing special, Solomon. Solomon is a king. Solomon is an aristocrat. Solomon is special. Solomon doesn't have to do anything for himself. Yet this woman, all of her life growing up in a dysfunctional family with brothers who were angry with her, whose anger burned against her, had to work in the sun, and now she's insecure about it. And is it possible that some of you young ladies will settle for the wrong man and carry into your marriage insecurities based on your background? I'm dark, but yet I'm lovely. You've got to at least respect her for having a little bit of attitude about it. She said, I might be dark, but still I'm lovely. I want you ladies to get a little bit of attitude about yourself today. Look, I might not be a size 2, but I'm beautiful. I might have a little bit of acne on my face, but I'm beautiful. I don't need Botox to be beautiful. I'm beautiful on the inside. The Bible says that charm is deceptive and beauty is fleeting. By a woman who fears the Lord, she shall be praised. I may not be as skinny as those girls over there, but I'm beautiful because I've got my act together. Because I'm intelligent. Because I love God. Because I'm accustomed to His ways. Because I know Him. Because I'm intimate with Him. Let's redefine beautiful. You don't have to look like the cover of that magazine to be beautiful. You're beautiful because you have value in the eyes of your Creator. I'm dark, but I'm beautiful, she says. I like that confident, but yet she's insecure. The same thing that attracts you to someone in the early days should be the same thing that continues to win his or her heart throughout the continuation of your life. You may not believe this about me, but I deal with insecurity and doubt. And there's a woman in my ear every time I think that my message was horrible. And every time that I think I've upset someone. Every time I teeter on the edge of falling apart. Feeling as if I don't relate to teenagers or kids anymore. Thinking I'm not trendy enough. Or that I don't have a worship leader's stylish haircut. Saying to me, you're bad. And you know you're bad. You know you've got it. You've still got it. And when she talks to me like that, my insecurities begin to go away. And in that moment, other than my relationship with God, she is all I need. One of the best things about Autumn and my relationship is that we've put ourselves into position to be attracted to all of the right things in each other. Some of y'all talk about, why can't I meet a good guy? Because you go to the club and to the bar to meet him. That's not where good Christian boys go to solicit dates. Watch this, women. This woman's so smart. Verse 7, she asks, tell me whom I love. Where you graze your flock and where do you rest your sheep at midday? In other words, I am going to get into position when you come by because I like you. Get into position. By getting in position, and Autumn and I have seen each other's characters in action. I'm the one who was called into ministry. Autumn was called because of my calling. But yet I have seen her attend youth camp, bring the family out to camp, take vacation to go to camp. I've seen her stay with the kids. I've seen her sacrifice. We saw each other's character in those moments. We saw the dedication and the commitment to ministry. Hey, there's sacrifices, but we're willing to sacrifice to share the love of Jesus with others. This is why when we said, how about North Dakota? We have observed each other's character. And North Dakota wasn't just a pipe dream. We had seen each other's character. We had put ourselves in position. There was a continued, growing, maturing attraction. This woman said, tell me where you lay down your sheep at midday. In other words, I want to see you do what you do. I want to observe your character. I want to see what you're really made of. Yeah, I see your six-pack. I know you think you look good in a wife beater. You don't. You look silly. But I know you think you really look good with your jacked up truck. You really don't, but I want to see your character. I want to know about your name. I want to see you at work. I want to position myself. I've seen sides of autumn that have blown me away. I've seen autumn at the request of young ladies in a youth group take a backpacking trip into the mountains just so that they could go. I've seen her serve on girls' retreat leadership teams, giving extra time, extra ability to make sure that young ladies are spoken to, taking young ladies on retreats, but once again being called into ministry because I was called into ministry. Yes, she looks sexy to me when she gets all dressed up, but there was something about seeing that woman sacrificing, leading teenagers, loving them where they were, giving up her time that was and still is attracted to me. I want a woman who's dark, but she's lovely. In other words, she works hard and she's lovely, and what's really beautiful about her isn't what you can see on the outside, but it's her character that radiates the light of Christ. That's what you want. That's what you're looking for. That's what you want to go after. That is what you want to be, because in order for you to attract someone of that character, you have got to become someone of that character. This woman says in verse 7, part B, "Why should I be like a veiled woman beside the flocks of your friends?" This is what the prostitutes did. They veiled themselves and went and stood beside the shepherds at night so that if any of them were interested, they could solicit sex from these women with veils on their faces. This woman said, "That's not how I roll. You want me? You want a relationship with me? There's going to be some standards. You want a relationship with me? You want to get with this? You're going to have to step up. I'm not going to be like a veiled woman. I'm not going to be like a prostitute. I'm not going to give you my virginity so you will say you love me. If we are going to do this, we're going to do it the right way." What bothers me about some of you ladies is that you let that guy put his hands all over your body. What makes you think that when he marries you one day, he'll be able to keep his hands off another woman's body who is not his wife? This is what bothers me about some of you ladies who are sleeping around at such a young age. What in the world are you attracting? Where did you lose your sense of value? Where did you become so passive in the things of God? Set your standard. Live by your standard. Don't compromise your standard. If a dude's going to take you away from God, you get away from him as fast as you can. Make up your mind, there's some things I won't compromise. There are some lines I'm not going to cross. You can't talk me into it because I've made up my mind. We are going to do this the right way. And so this woman has bared her soul to this man, insecurities and all. This is who I am, and this is what I struggle with, and I'm dark, but I'm lovely. I love you, and I am for you, but here are the standards we're going to have, and now it's up to this man to love this woman through her insecurities. That's what a good man does. We'll pick up in verse 9. "I liken you, my darling, to a mare among Pharaoh's chariot horses." In other words, he is saying, hey, baby, I know you've got some insecurities. I know you've got some doubts, but don't worry about that, baby, because to me, you're like a horse. I liken you, my darling, to a mare, but not just any mare, a mare harnessed to one of the chariots of Pharaoh. These animals, these horses harnessed to the chariots of Pharaoh were the most important animals in the kingdom. In other words, he's saying, you're unique. I like your dark skin. It lets me know that you had a work ethic. And while all the other girls were lounging around, you were learning the priority of hard work. You're special. You're unique. You are something wonderful. And guys, if you want to win a woman's heart, make her feel special and unique. The horses that were hooked up to Pharaoh's chariots were unique. They were white horses to draw attention. Most of the horses for chariots were black horses, but Pharaoh had white horses, and to be Pharaoh's horseman, you were the only one who could do the job. You were special, and you were elevated. I want to believe. I hope that one of the things that attracted and continues to attract Autumn to me is that I can help her tap into her potential. Her potential to see the unique value in herself. This is the job of a good husband. You should pull the potential out of your wife. You should show her things inside of herself that she never knew existed. Show her levels of mothering ability that she never knew that she had. Hey, ladies, you should do the same thing for us. When we do get it right, make a big deal out of it. When we do change one diaper, don't roll your eyes about the 5 that you changed before. If you'll give me a standing ovation for changing one, tomorrow I might change 2, and the next day I might change 3. I'm just teaching you all, we're not that smart. When you make us feel like we're good at something, we want to do it again. If you want to change what you see in someone, change what you say to them. No, sweetheart, you're not dark and burned by the sun to me. You're like one of the Pharaoh's horses. Smooth operator. No need to ask, he's a smooth operator. Smooth operator. You're special. You are one of a kind. You stand out in a crowd, and he keeps on spitting game 2. Solomon is good. Verse 10. Your cheeks are beautiful with earrings, your neck with strings of jewels. We will make your earrings of gold, studded with silver. He is going to hook her up. He loves her. She is special, and now she speaks back to him. While the king was at his table, my perfume spread its fragrance. My beloved is to me a sachet of myrrh resting between my breasts. Now, some of you guys are thinking, I don't know what a sachet of myrrh is, but I want to be one. That to me sounds like a good job. Can I get 2 claps and a Ric Flair? Woo! Just thought I might need to put that in. My beloved is to me a cluster of henna blossoms from the vineyards of En-Gedi. How beautiful you are, my darling. Oh, how beautiful your eyes are. How beautiful your eyes are doves. Notice, he's looking at her eyes, not at her. How handsome you are, my beloved. Oh, how charming, and our bed is verdant. I don't know what that means, but that sounds good too. The beams of our house are cedars, our rafters are fir. Watch how her approach has changed. Remember in chapter 1, she was dark, but I'm lovely. Don't stare at me, I've been burned by the sun. Now Solomon, like a good man, has built her up. He has pulled out the potential in her. He has brought out the best in her. Now find a guy like that and stay with that guy. C.S. Lewis said, it's good to find a man that you love, but if you have to choose, it is even better to find a man who loves you. In other words, it's more important at the end of the day, not what feeling you get about him, but what he's able to mine out of the treasure that God has invested in you. Now I'm speaking to all of you. This might be a prerequisite for a husband for some of you, or for a wife. But for some of you, this needs to be a purpose statement of what you need to become now in your marriage. And that's a hint of what you lost that took the fire away. Now, this woman's about to respond because Solomon has built her up. He has bought her some earrings. He's called her a horse. All the things you have to do to win a woman's heart. And in chapter 2, verse 1, she responds to his love. She reflects his love. I'm a rose of Sharon, a lily of the valleys. See, before she was like, don't look at me, don't stare at me. But now that you have spoken into my life, I'm a rose of Sharon, a lily of the valleys. Like a lily among thorns is my darling among the young women. In other words, baby, when I saw you, I lost interest in all the other girls. They're just like thorns. To me, you're one in a million. Like an apple tree among the trees of the forest is my beloved among the young men. See, I know it's real poetic. It may be hard for us to grasp, but mind the principle out. I delight to sit in his shade, and his fruit is sweet to my taste. I like to sit in his shade, and that means he is my protector. The fruit is sweet to my taste, and that means he is my provider. He's my protector. He's my shade. He's my provider. He feeds me. He's my protector and my provider. Sir, your job is to cover your woman. She should feel shade from your presence. You should be her safe place. You should be the one that she knows she can come to, and you never raise your voice to her in anger. And if you do, you apologize, because she is your queen and you are her shade, and you are to treat her with dignity and respect. Remember what she felt so insecure about? Her skin being dark, being burned by the sun. Isn't it fitting, she says, you're my shade. And what I lacked when I was growing up and what I thought about my body before I met you, now you're covering me. I want to cover my wife. I want to cover her spiritually. I want to cover her emotionally. I want to tell her I love her more. I don't want any other dude having to tell her for me. I'm her shade. I'm her tree. She only gets to sit under my shade. Nobody else gets to give her shade. Nobody else gets to give her security. Nobody else gets her, you hear me? I'll kill you. I'll kill you. Let's finish this up. Verse 4. Let him lead me to the banquet hall, and let his banner over me be love. He is taking me to the banquet hall. Now, I know that this is probably not the original the authorial intent of this text, but take your wife out to eat. Take her to the banquet hall, not to the McDonald's, but to the banquet hall. In these days, kings would set up banquet halls adjacent to the battlefield. And you would come in and you would find the banner which represented your company. In other words, this woman is saying, I know where to go because his banner over me is love. And some of you are in relationships right now, dating people, and the banner over your relationship that everyone sees that identifies your part of the relationship isn't love, it's manipulation. It's not love, it's lust. It's not love, it's the fact that you need somebody to belong to because there is such a spiritual emptiness inside of you that you go running to whatever banner will wave itself over you because you still need to be identified with someone else. And even if there is not a human waving a banner of love over you today, I want to explain to you something. God's banner over you has always and will always be unconditional love and acceptance. His banner over you is completion in Christ. And he has taken me to the banquet hall, and his banner over me is love. Verse 5, strengthen me with raisins, refresh me with apples, for I am faint with love. Raisins and apples in ancient times, these were considered aphrodisiacs. This woman wants this man. And she wants him to want him, and she wants to want him even more. Can I tell you married men something? Your wife wants to want you. Make her want you. Make her want you again. Become attracted to her again. That doesn't necessarily mean hitting the gym. It might be taking out the trash. It might be disciplining the kids, giving them a bath, telling her you love her, waving a banner over her, being her shade, covering her, coming to church more than one out of every 5 weeks with her. Cover her, protect her, shelter her, provide for her, and make her want you. And we'll close with this. His left arm is under my head and his right arm embraces me. They're in the love position. Daughters of Jerusalem, I charge you by the gazelles and by the does of the field, do not arouse or awaken love until it so desires. You know what I think this daughter of Jerusalem was trying to say to all of you who are out there who are single? To all of you who are out there searching, I get it. You may feel lonely. You may feel insecure, but don't arouse or awaken love. In other words, it's a good thing to wait because it is hard to be single and lonely, but being married and lonely is even harder. Don't settle just because you're single. So here's the challenge. If you're single, I want to challenge you to do this. Develop a list. Develop a sketch of who you are looking for. But be careful. It shouldn't be Brad Pitt meets Jonas Brothers meets Billy Graham meets Elon Musk. Be careful when you put together your list. But if you have a list of 10 characteristics, 20 characteristics, 100 characteristics, let me challenge you. If you have a list of 10 characteristics and you find someone and they meet 9, but they don't meet all 10, move on to the next person. If they meet 19 and don't meet 20, move on. Guys, let me challenge you. Don't limit women to a physical perception you saw in a movie or magazine. Develop your spiritual attraction and give it to God. Some of you may need to go back and tell who you are dating that they're not it. I've been attracted to you for the wrong reasons. I'm going to hold out for God's best. Married people, I get it. About 50% of us may do this. But before the sun goes down tonight on Valentine's Day, sit down with your spouse. Share with them what is one thing that attracted you to them. Share with them what is one thing that is still attractive for you about them. Tell them you're a horse and see where that gets you. So for the singles, for the marrieds, we've got these challenges. But let me add one more challenge. Let me challenge you to write it down. And after writing it down, let me challenge you to share it with someone. Because percentages, statistics prove that if we write something down, and then if we share it, when we do that, the odds of the percentages go up that we will continue doing that. Shall we pray? Father, we just thank you for these moments that we've had. We thank you for this interaction between Solomon and his wife. We thank you how we see the wedding night, how we reflect back upon the dating, about how he lifted her up through her insecurities, and ultimately how she bought into what he was saying, and it just helped her love herself more and them to love each other more. And Father, as we have challenged what it may look like for attraction, we've challenged those who are single, we've challenged those who are the women, we've challenged the men, we've challenged the married couples. Father, may we not just sit on what we've heard today, but may we put into action and some application. Father, what I want is for a church, for a community who is madly in love with each other. And Father, may that begin today. Father, thank you for this time. We just give it to you so that it may glorify you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Well, welcome back to the lobby. Thank you again for joining us here at New Hope Online this week. Again, my name is David. I'm our First Impressions coordinator and host of the lobby, and Pastor Andrea is with me this week, which is perfect because for the first message in our series on marriage, we brought our marriage and relationship expert, children's pastor, engaged but unmarried Pastor Andrea. So she's going to let us know everything we need to know about a perfect marriage, right?
For sure,
You're just
yeah.
going to lay it all out for us,
For sure.
all the tips and tricks. And I have been married over 10 years. So, I mean,
Yeah, so clearly I have
I mean,
much more experience in
yeah,
this.
yeah, I don't, yeah. Well, and I've also got it all nailed in 10 years too. Just ask my wife. But this is our first series in the you, me, we, he. Did I get it? I think I got it
Yeah.
right again. I'm
Yeah.
2 for 2. I was pretty confident I was going to butcher the name of this series a few
You
times.
did a good job.
But thank you. You, me, we, he series, and. As Pastor Travis said, it was a bit of a PG-13 message. So hopefully you tried New Hope Kids online this week. Your kids got to hang out with Pastor Andrea and some of her team. But what we do here, if you're not familiar with the lobby, we just kind of talk a little bit more about the message. We're going to kind of reiterate Pastor Travis's challenge to you, give you a couple things to talk about, and then be on our way. We won't hang out for that long this week. So I think the most important point of the whole message was that we're supposed to smell good.
Yeah,
I don't know.
for
think
sure.
I think I got what Pastor Travis was talking about. But
Yeah.
now you're engaged. When you first met your beloved, would you say he smelt good?
You know, I would.
Nice.
Yeah, that was a good plus. So I would say for all you out there who are looking to snag a girl,
Yeah.
definitely that's a good one.
Focus on your scent. However, the real point of that was, while that is maybe an important thing, he talked about how she tells Solomon that your name is like a sweet fragrance, which was really cool. And I know for me, you know, when Joanna and I were starting dating, because Pastor Travis reiterated a bunch of times, physical attraction's obviously often the first thing that will attract you to a person,
Right.
but because you usually see them before you get to know them.
That is
not
true.
always, but oftentimes. But yeah, once I got to know who Joanna was and like her character, that really rang so true for her.
Yeah.
Where like Joanna Carlson, who became Joanna Lundeen, just was like, I loved telling people I was dating her. Like I was so proud of that because I couldn't believe that she was willing to date me. And you know, she's just this incredible young woman of God. And so that was a huge thing for me. And I know your fiance a little bit, not as well as you do, obviously, but I would assume that was something that was a big deal for you as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, that was like, even though I did definitely notice how I was attracted to him, like that was probably the first thing that made me like consider it even, was how his character was, how
Yeah.
kind he is, how caring he is to just like all people.
Yeah.
I'm very excited to potentially be married to him soon.
Potentially?
Well, I mean, unless COVID.
Oh, okay. I was
changes
like, oh,
things.
geez. We're all good. We haven't broken up the engagement yet.
No.
Okay.
Not yet, you know.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Yes. Got concerned there for a minute. Yes. COVID. Yes, COVID ruins weddings. Not marriages, hopefully.
Yeah.
But I did. Yeah, there were a couple weddings I was supposed to go to last summer that obviously did not happen. But I also liked another point that he made towards the end when he was talking about how they bring, these two bring out the best in one another. She
Yeah.
was so, like, originally she was kind of like, don't look at me, and by the end of it, she was saying, like, I'm like a rose, like she wanted his attention because of his encouragement and everything, he had made her feel so beautiful, and she had made him feel like a protector, and that he made her feel safe and things like that. I thought that was really cool. Just the imagery in their poetry. I'm like Pastor Travis, I'm not much of a poet, but the imagery in their words of how they brought out the best in one another, even just in the small amount of the passages we were reading, where they started and then where they got to, just by the positive affirmation they gave and the focus on each other's positives rather than tearing them down with their negatives, things like that. Okay, Pastor Travis's challenge. So we'll talk single people first. If you're in like a weird spot, like my friend Pastor Andrea here, where you're not married, but you're definitely not single, you choose. Is your relationship committed enough where you think it's going to go the whole way? Then go with the married one. If you're like, after hearing that message, I might need to wrap this relationship up, then go with the first one. So we'll do the challenge to singles first. when he was talking about like don't settle. Don't just think maybe I'm getting older and I just need to find someone. But he said don't settle. Wait for God to bring that right person to you. And so he said to make a list. These are the traits that my future spouse would need to have. Not like unblemished physical appearance, but like the important things, the things that really make them who they are, and then stick to it. Now that doesn't mean you're going to marry a perfect person.
Right.
Spoiler alert: you will not be marrying a perfect person. So don't be ridiculous with it. But those important traits, like you were talking about how Jake is kind, right? Like that would be an important thing for you. So like that would have been on your list.
Yeah.
Were you still in that first category? But you're in the second category. His challenge to married people was sit down with your spouse before it's Valentine's Day today, unless you're watching this after the fact. But if you're watching it with us here Sunday morning, it's Valentine's Day. He said, don't let tonight end without just sitting down with your spouse and telling them one of the things that initially attracted you to them beyond the physical attraction. You can talk about that too. Valentine's Day, but what was one of the things that stood out? So like you mentioned how kind Jake is, so that might have been one of your things. So yeah, if you're very serious relationship or married, you're in that weird stage. But I would say do the married one for you. It'd be kind of weird to make your list now and then sit down with your fiance. All right, let's see how you line up here. But yeah, so want to encourage you to do that challenge that Pastor Travis was talking about at the end of the service. So that's all we've got for you this week. Thank you again for hanging out with us in the lobby. It's so awesome that you joined us at New Hope Online this week. Let's go and be the church together.